Hi, this is Peter.
Hi, this is Sandra.
And we are medievalist.net.
And today, unfortunately, we're reviewing.
World Without End.
And I say that because it could have been a show that would never end too soon for me. We just watched the final 3 episodes of World Without End. And the best part was the end.
Yes, it is now over.
Yes. And I started to actually enjoy this show until the last episode. Whoever wrote it should be fired.
Yeah, well, let me see.
Let's start with episode 6.
Oh, okay. I quite liked how they did the Black Death, although it came a few years early.
1341, just in case, because, tampering with history, not a problem.
But I liked how, they had this kind of, people got sick, then they died fairly quickly, and it kind of showed the, anguish of the town. We start to lose some of the, many extra characters that are in this show, which...
Yeah, and Karis starts to be, like Grey's Anatomy, running around and getting everybody to use linen masks.
Yes.
Because they knew everything about that.
And most of them, and of course, she's okay, although she treats everyone.
Never gets ill. But but cool things were, I liked, it was going to be probably a blur of all the episodes. I liked how Petronilla used the plague to kill Roland. I thought that was kind of clever.
Yes,
I'm just going to drop some pus into a rose and send it to you, because that makes so much sense. That was great.
It's a good conjuring trick.
Sure. A lot of big reveals on this show. We find out that Petronilla is the mother of Ralph.
Yes.
Both her sons are cruel, vicious people, which kind of makes sense. And so Ralph is...
And Ralph is a father, too.
Yes. And we find out that Sir Roland is Ralph's father, so Petronilla tries to help Ralph become successful, because Godwin's kind of spurned her.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ralph takes the bait, and she, goes with him to complain to Isabella about the uprising of his peasants. And then the beautiful thing is, karma's a bitch and it'll bite you in the ass. And at the end of all of this, helping her sons, Petronilla realizes that, well, Godwin thinks she's a whore, so he tries to kill her. And Ralph just wouldn't spare her since he's outside attacking the town that she lives in. So she decides to kill herself.
Yes, you're moving on. This is now into
no, just kind of like I just realized breaking it up, and it's better to break it up in the moment.
It's hard to call it. Yes.
But what did you think of her?
She was a good kind of evil character. Kind of playing that Machiavellian type character, I suppose. But I wasn't. But I guess I was mixed on her.
I thought, she was an interesting character. I liked seeing Cynthia Nixon play someone evil. Godwin remained evil to the end.
He just got worse and worse.
Yeah, he just went from bad to awful.
He went to crazy bad.
Yeah, he's perverted and sick and twisted, but not in that kind of watchable way where you're like, yeah, he's such a evil bastard, but he's so cool. No, he's not. So, we get other kind of interesting plot twists, but like the fact that Edward II is really Thomas the...
Oh, yes, the Thomas the Monk.
I want to keep saying Thomas the Tank Engine.
Wow, I don't know where that came from.
Anyways, but
Thomas Langley.
Right, whose lover Matthias dies after getting bitten by a savage Godwin.
Yes.
Who also unfortunately survives the plague.
Yeah, but Thomas reveals it in the end. It wasn't the big secret that he had been keeping was
not that he was in love with the monk. was that?
He is Edward II.
Right.
All right.
And he whips out his seal and tells Karis and Murthrin, hey guys, don't leave town for the 52nd time. Stay a while, because I'm Edward II. And out comes the seal. And he's like, you're free men now.
Here's a charter free, and of course.
Because I'm a dead king and you can use my seal. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, so Godwin finds it and he's completely ticked off, and he and Petronella scheme.
This all goes back to Edward III.
Right.
What? My father's alive?
Let's go kill him.
Yes. I can't, you know, like.
Gotta go.
Because, you know, he's been hiding all this long to, you know, and of course Isabella is just, you know, egging him on, right? Like.
Yeah, can't live another second without going after my father. And then my whole issue for the entire thing, you know, the show started off poorly, became mediocre, maybe delved into the realm of slightly good, and then just careened into awful.
What was the worst scene for you?
The episode 8 was horrible, and well, how about Edward versus Edward? Yes. One-armed Edward. Peter could not stop laughing. It became comical. We have Godwin strangling Karis, brother versus brother, Ralph versus Murthrin, Edward versus Edward. It was just over-the-top ridiculousness. And the fact that Peter's howling beside when Edward pulls out his sword, is like, let's go, Dad. Oh, jeez. And then there's this melodramatic scene, and I, Edward, and you must kill me now. And he's like, rah.
Of course, one-armed Edward defeats his younger, better son.
And says, be nice to the townspeople.
Yeah,
gotta go.
As long as you're nice to the town. Which you've already... I know you've ransacked the town, and they've pretty much killed everybody. Pretty much everyone in the town is now dead. But, hey... There's a few strikers left alive. Be okay to them. Don't, you know, kill them too, I suppose.
Just the main characters are alive. Leave them well alone. We want them to live a happy life. So they duke it out in a ridiculous fight that you would only see on, like, you know, out of a cartoon or something. And then Edward III beheads them in a very melodramatic scene.
Yes.
And the fight between Ralph and Murthrin, okay, another awful fight. Of course, of all the people battling it out in this mess, brother versus brother, you know, and in the end, when Ralph is about to evil Ralph is about to kill his good brother, little Frodo, or whatever his name was.
The little boy.
The little boy. Gwenda's son, Gwenda and Wulfric's son, shoots him in the back like Daryl Dixon from Walking Dead.
You didn't expect The Walking Dead.
I have to. And kills a knight, little kid with a bow and arrow. And then runs to join Mom and Dad. Mom fighting like Joan of Arc with her pitchfork.
Doesn't bother to check out Merthyr and see if he's okay.
No.
Out you go. All right. I'm all right.
Goes off. Thanks for throwing the ring in the fire, Frodo. Anyways, it was just, you know, heaped one ridiculous thing after another. It was very hard to watch. On a serious note, I was actually, until I watched the last 3 episodes, starting to enjoy this series. And then it just went downhill. It was just, it changed so much from what I've read of goes on in the book. It just was unwatchable.
Oh, well... All I have to say, if you think you should air this for a history class,
don't.
Just
the inaccuracies are like it's not even like you know, I can forgive it, like, you know, I've forgiven stuff like on Borges, but this was just like the Black Death coming 8 years early.
Yes.
Just for shits and giggles, like, let's throw a random date.
Well, the Peasants' Revolt comes.
Oh yeah, 40 years early. Yeah, the Peasants' Revolt. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
You know, even though at the end they say the Peasants' Revolt happens afterwards, it seems like the peasants are revolting now.
Yes.
It's just ramming a lot of history together and then conveniently tacking on the addendum at the end.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit at the very end. Oh, there was a peasants' revolt throughout Europe. Although I thought it was just England, but hey.
You know what Gollum you know what Godwin reminds me of? Gollum, or I should say Wormtongue from Lord of the Rings for those of you who are Tolkien fans.
By the way, Godwin, he gets it in the end with a cross. That's,
oh my gosh, that was that.
You want to tell the story?
This capped it.
She wants to tell every story.
I have to tell this because whoever wrote Godwin's death scene needs to be bashed in the side of the head with the cross that they came up with that scene from. It was so bad. Were you going for irony? Or, oh my god, he's a bad guy, I'm going to have Karis kill him with a big old cross that happens to be lying behind her head as he's strangling her on the table. It was just such a bad, obvious play. It was like... like when you said that, I bet it's a little boy standing behind Ralph. Peter was... like, you could predict one thing after another. It was just terrible.
I actually thought, that cross, she's going to hit him in the head with it, and it was going to knock him, and then he was getting... But no, it actually kills him. It's like...
stuck in the side of his neck.
There's a little tiny... Because there's like a little tiny, pin to it. Apparently that does him in, right? Like, of all the things, the Black Death, his madness, all the other kind of crazy stuff. I have a little bleep. Oh, wait. Oh, he does.
It was just cornball and over the top and campy, but not in a, there's good campy and there's bad campy. And this was just piss poor.
Yeah, this was, I think of all the stuff we've reviewed, with the one exception of, was it also, not Black Death, there was a movie,
well, the memorable
Nicolas Cage film that we saw.
Oh, this was like Season of the Witch, but in a mini-series.
Yes, this was, I think, one of the worst television programs I've ever seen.
Pretty much. So it was, again, let me recap it for you, poor, meh, it's getting good, and colossally horrible. So if you want to watch it at your own peril, it was awful. Well, I hated it.
Everyone here in Canada...
I never said that before about something I dislike or whatever. I just abjectly hated this series.
Yeah, that's my kind of thought.
2 thumbs down.
Yeah, it's, people in Canada have watched it, people in the States. If you're elsewhere in the world and you have this opportunity, I know if you're really fans of the book, I don't think it matters because the book has, I think the plots just...
They changed it
they go from the book. Different ways.
The ending.
And it was just this, just kind of done like a Hollywood type ending.
Yeah.
Instead of... And, have to give props to that snow that doesn't fall.
Yeah,
just hangs around in the air.
Snow that's always magically there. It looks like they're fighting in one of those snow globes. Snow globe fights. But I felt like, especially on a serious note, for episode 8, like they decided they had to wrap it up. Mm-hmm. So, it was like a high schooler or an elementary school kid wrote episode 8. Yes. Whoever wrote that episode should be fired and never write again.
Well, I think, like the one thing we're going to come into it, we kind of expect this show to have first, historical accuracy to some degree.
Some degree.
And and logic. That was our failing. We didn't see
it was just predictable and bad, and when Edward versus Edward came on, yes. I'm telling you, Peter could not stop laughing. Right. I knew it was unparalleled ridiculousness when he was giggling like a fool beside me watching you know, Edward coming back from the dead to duke it out with his son. It might as well have been a comic book.
No,
You know?
it's just it's
Awful.
mind-boggling, like how that's just
Oh,
like
Christ, it was bad.
they
Oh, wow.
beyond that, you know.
What would you give it out of 10, Peter?
I don't know, maybe a 2 or 3, maybe. You
Really?
know? Yeah, you know, like
Zero?
the things I actually liked, there was a lot of kind of cool little lines that they would say, you know, these one-off lines. And I did like, there was a couple scenes that, you know, I thought were pretty good.
That's 3 hours of my life I will never get back.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. You know.
So, no. And we've reviewed other things that have glaring historical issues, but there's still some rhyme or reason or writing that's decent to enable you to go, okay, this was off, but you know what? I'm really enjoying these characters, so I'm going to keep watching and just kind of put that off to the side. I couldn't find myself doing it with this. Certain characters had their moments where I liked them.
Yeah.
I liked Cynthia Nixon doing Petronilla at some points. I was like, wow, that's a really sinister person. Karis was just kind of a boring do-gooder. You know, I did enjoy Edward III's character. I did. But the problem I had with the show was that these were glimpses. Like, you know, like moments, like you said, like, oh, a good line here and there, but it never continued throughout the series.
It was a immensely convoluted plot that had lots of twists and turns. One side's get, it's like, oh, this happens. Oh, they're gonna have the Priory's gonna. Oh, the Priory loses. Oh, Priory's, this happens. Black Death. Oh, everyone's, and then jumping around, and like we see these lives, and it's like, it just.
What was the biggest disappointment for you?
I did kind of go in expecting, like, I had obviously heard about the book. I think Ken Follett's probably a very good writer. But, he's got a lot of fans, and I think they're going to be, really disappointed in this kind of effort, because I think he rewrote a lot of what he does to kind of, I know why they kind of took, what probably is like a 30, 40-year kind of journey and just kind of compress it down into about 15 years. Just because the characters would have gone old, and that'd be really hard on makeup. But
I just think it could have been done better, and I feel sorry because there's some really great actors and actresses on the series whose talents just got wasted, whose talents were wasted and sort of chucked out the window with the writing. I don't know that the acting for me reflected some of the writing. So the actor might have been delivering a line or two that was good, but then some of the things that were written for them were either campy or predictable or boring, it didn't do that person justice.
I think a lot of characters don't get fleshed out.
They were one-dimensional.
Well, yeah, they're very one-dimensional. Like Godwin has
caricatures.
Godwin, like as a kind of the most evil guy has.
He's like a religious Gargamel.
His character gets developed somewhat, but he's not,
It's terrible.
Yeah, but Ralph's character, for instance, nothing, particularly interesting about him. He just seemed like a mean guy.
He's just a brute. Like, he wasn't, he's not, an interesting brute.
He's just more or less angry half the time. And just, a loser the other half the time,
Yeah.
And he can fight well, so he kind of, sticks around until, the little boy finishes him off.
But so there you go. We really wanted to enjoy this, so it's just kind of a disappointment that we ended up watching something and just coming away from it not enjoying it at all. Like, episode 8 just killed it for me. I'm sorry. I hated it.
Yeah, I can't say, like, I didn't find, episode 7 or episode 8 to be, that bit, like, they were really poorly done. I said, I enjoyed the part about the Black Death as, kind of an overall thing. Although I'm not, like, I found some of the scenes pretty interesting. But overall, it just was a disappointment.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Usually I enjoy saying, hey, this is great, watch it. But I'd say this time you and I would have to agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Do not watch. Watch at peril. Caution tape. Avoid. Whatever.
Well,
so
we'll be bringing you more movies reviews as I think Lincoln's coming out soon.
Yeah.
And we'll have a few
medieval movies
throughout until we get to Game of Thrones when that comes out. And also the Viking series, which will come out in the spring.
Oh, okay.
So that might be okay.
So we're hoping it'll be a lot of fun. So thank you for tuning in for our awful, terrible review of World Without End. And we'll see you another time.
Good night.